perfect one to redeem right now. So, I'm going to read you my favorite poem. Oh, no, yawn. Okay, well, thank you for even having stopped in to say hi. I can't help it. I see that. That's the first thought I have. I appreciate it. Okay. Let us go. Squeaky chair it all. It's still being broken, in my defense. Okay. Ogden Nash, A Tale of the 13th Floor. Just a little brutal. A little violence. A little bit of a horror. Horror poem. Okay, I'm glad you can hear me. A Tale of the 13th Floor. Oh my god. It caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting that the little secondary kind of noise. Okay, so here we go. Hello, Adam. Wah, wah, wah. I hope you're doing okay. No, you're not. A baby chicken. What? Okay. Well, because the game's not being great, we're gonna do talking and reading today. I'm about to read my favorite story. So let me know if volumes are good. My eyes are gonna close a little bit. The camera does that when there's glasses on. A glass of old lady eyes. Oh, you love it when I read? Oh. I'm glad to hear that. I always thought it would be kind of weird, but good to know. Yeah, I'm like, okay. Meow check. Oh, 59%. Okay, that's not that bad. Okay. Alright, here we go. A Tale of the 13th Floor. The Hands of the Clock by Ogden Nash. I know I said it a few times, but I'm saying it again. But Ogden Nash. The hands of the clock were reaching high in an old midtown hotel. I name no name, but its sordid fame is table talk in hell. I name no name, but hell's own flame illumes the lobby garish. A gilded snare just off Times Square for the maidens of the parish. Ooh. Eldritch Pie! Ooh. What is... The revolving door swept the grimy floor like a crinoline grotesque, and a lowly bum from an ancient slum crept furtively past the desk. His footsteps sift into the lift as a knife in the sheath is slipped, stealthy and swift into the lift as a vampire into the crypt. Old Maxie, the elevator boy, was reading an ode by Shelley, but he dropped the ode as if it were a toad when the gun jumped into his belly. There came a whisper as soft as mud in the bed of an old canal. Take me up to the suite of Pinball Pete, that rat who betrayed my gal. The lift doth rise with groans and sighs like a duchess for a waltz. Then in the shaft, like a duchess daft, it changes its mind and halts. The bum-bite slip as a landlocked ship does neither rise nor fall. But Maxie, the elevator boy, regards him with burning eyes. First to explore the 13th floor, said Maxie, would be wise. Quoth the bum, there's moss on your cross. I've been this way before. I'll kiss the joint at every point. There is no 13th floor. The architect, he skipped direct from 12 into 14. There's 12 below, and 14 above, and nothing in between. For the vermin who dwell in this hotel could never abide 13, said Max. 13, that floor obscene, is hidden from human sight, but once a year it doth appear on this Walpurgis night. Hello! It's got the dance going on over there. Ere you peril your soul in murderers' roll, heed those who sinned of yore. The path they trod led away from God and onto the 13th floor, where those they slew, a grisly crew, reproach them forevermore. We are higher than 12 and below 14, said Maxie to the bum, and the sickening draught that taints the shaft is a whiff of kingdom come. The sickening draught that taints the shaft blows through the devil's door. And he squashed the latch like a fungus patch and revealed the 13th floor. It was cheap cigars like lurid scars that glowed in the rancid gloom. The murk was aboil with fusel oil and the reek of stale perfume. And round there dragged and wound a loathsome conga chain, the square in the hip and slow lockstep, the slayer and the slain. For the souls of the victims ascend on high, but their bodies below remain. The clean souls fly to their home in the sky, but their bodies remain below, to pursue the Cain who each has slain, and harry them to and fro. When life is extinct, each corpse is linked to its gibbering murderer, as a chicken is bound with wire around the neck of a killer cur. Handcuffed to hate, come Dr. Waite, he tastes the poison now, and Ruth and Judd, and a head of blood with horns upon its brow. From Floridor bright, up sashays Nan with her feathery fan from Floridor bright. She never hung for Caesar young, but she's dancing with him tonight. Here's the bulging hip and the foam-flecked lick of the mad dog Vincent Cull, and over there, that ill-met pair, Becker and Rosenthal. Here's legs and Dutch, and a dozen such of braggart bullies and brutes, and each one bends neath the weight of friends who are all wearing concrete suits. Now the damned make way for the double damned to emerge with shuffling pace from the nightmare zone of persons unknown, with neither name nor face. And poor Dot King to one doth cling, joined in a ghastly jag, while Ethwal doth jape at a goblin shape and tickle it with his wig. See Rosenstein pass like breath on a glass, the original Black Sox Kid. He rifles the pack riding piggyback on the killer whose name he hid. And smeared like brine on a slavering swine, star fateful once so fair, drawn from the sea to her debauchee, with the salt sand in her hair. And still they come, and from the bum the icy sweat to spray. His white lips scream, as in a dream, "For God's sake, let's away! If ever I meet with Pinball Pete, I'll not seek his gore, lest a treadmill grim I must trudge on the hideous 13th floor." "For you I rejoice," said Maxie's voice, "and I bid you go in peace. But I am late for a dancing date that never more will cease. So remember, friend, as your way you wend, that it would have happened to you, but I turned the heat on Pinball Pete. You see, I had a daughter too." The bum reached out, and he tried to shout, but the door in his face was slammed, and silent as stone, he rode down alone from the floor of the double damned. I used to have that poem memorized, but I forgot most of it, so I had to actually read it. But that's my favorite poem. You know, there's a lot of good ones, like Robert Frost has some great ones, and even Byron has some okay sonnets and stuff, but if this tale unfolds in perfect rhyme, I'm so happy you'd never commit a crime. With ice hair, magenta bright, you're so kind, you stole my heart, alright? That's a good rhyme in there, Adam. And I appreciate the compliment. That's such a sweet compliment. But yeah, I've shared with you my favorite poem. Kind of dark. You used to write some? Ooh, nice. I have been known to write a poem or two myself. Couple stories, part of a book that I never finished and published. I love stories, which makes sense since I love to read so much. But yeah. So, now you've had stuff read to you, by the way. The first was how I went a week without fried chicken. It was 3 a.m. Some people are inspired by longing for religion or lust. You're inspired by the lack of fried chicken. It's okay. I like it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Whatever happens, happens. You want to know something crazy? I would like to know crazy. What? I bet it was fun though. I bet it was an interesting thing to read. What's something crazy, Zed? I know you're in and out, so you probably can't respond right away. I love how everything's balancing on my head. I would like to point that out. That's pretty cool, this chat. Balance it up there. But yeah, I do. I love that poem. Not a lot of people know that one. When they talk about poems, they think about your big ones, and you can include sonnets instead of poems. There is a difference, but like that's my favorite one. The name Zendela came from a book you were writing? What? That is cool. That is awesome. We should all write a story together one day. That'd be pretty cool. I think that would be fun. We could all write a story together. And it was the chicken was deep in the fryer, so sad it treated like a liar. I like it. Hey, yeah, no, that's a good point. He says he hates reading. It was writing a book. Set yourself up for failure. It'll never see the light. Mine was... Okay, I've had some pretty cringe stories. Also written out some of my history. A bit brutal and violent at first. But, no. It never saw the light of day. I think everything... Hello, Barry! You got a good book idea? Well, I am always a fan. I hope you're doing okay. OBS wasn't loving the game, so we're reading stories. You missed it. It was my favorite poem I just read. But yeah, I think that would be so cool. We should all come up with a story together sometime. I know. I'll make it work. We could do that. Actually, they say your first book could take 3 to 5 years because you have to go through multiple edits through, and your story changes. And then if you're wise, you get a content editor. Is the story there were 2 Zens? Ah, cool. I thought that was fun. I love reading, even if it's bad stuff. I love it all. They'll get it up in another household. It's because you met Truck-kun along the way, right? An air fryer turning into a goth ball. It's all gone, so now there's only one Zed. Ooh, there's a game that's coming out. I think it comes out on Valentine's Day. I'm not exactly sure, 100%. But it's called Date Everything. And there's gonna be kitchen appliances probably. And Truck-kun's sweet embrace. Truck-kun's sweet embrace brings us all to happy place. Fridge. Hey, the fridge was a voluptuous Swedish lady in that one game we played. Kitsune Kitchen. That was crazy. That game was so much fun. Orca. Hey, I don't know what to expect in Date Everything. The fridge and atomic cart is Uba. Really? There's a... Okay. I didn't know that. Orca. No, we only fight Orca Mommy in polluted by nuclear waste lakes. Man, the twist at that end of the game, right? When you met his wife? Mind-blowing. Just mind-blowing. I never saw that coming. I want more of that game. The fish game. It was the Orca was a toxic waste. Yeah. The whole lake had toxic waste in it. From the power, like, I think it was a nuclear power plant down the road. Or maybe it was just pollution. I don't know. How did the beluga, the UK Thames River, not turn into... Because I guess it wasn't the right kind of whale. I mean, it was the killer whale in the fish dating game. So, maybe it was just the wrong breed. That's all I can guess, is that it was the wrong breed. But, gosh, you don't remember your goth fish mommy's breed? Hey, Chris, what about guess what? Guess what? Ooh, what'd you get? Is it the platypus? The claw. Ooh, perky paddles. I love platypi. Platypuses? Is it platypi platypuses? Or does it stay platypus? The English language is quite confusing sometimes. They are cool. They are cool. They are like a combo of what the fuck. Hey, never! Ooh, an acorn pie. There's a lot of acorn pies today. I hope you're doing okay today, Never. We're not getting to play our planned game because it just OBS is being a little bitch today. Oh, I was hoping you'd get some energy. I'm okay. Admittedly, been a little down these last few days. But I'm also frustrated at OBS because it wasn't letting me play games today. But I was excited to share my favorite poem with everybody, and now I'm gonna read some stories. So that works. Talking, chilling, reading stories. I think one day, now I'm thinking we're gonna have to all come together to make a story after thinking about it. Like, cause I bet that would be fun. But I'm doing okay. I'm glad to see you in. I'm glad you could stop by. Mostly likely to make a manga. Well, it would be like one would decide what action happens and then the next, I think. I think it'd be fun. Because everybody has different types of crazy together. As long as we remember not to do spasha. I think that might be fun. And then I'd have something special to remember everybody by. Like, way, decades in the future. Like a millennia from now. Hi, chicken! I still love that freaking chicken. What's before the line? I don't... Oh, with the cross the line stuff. Well, if we're making a story together, I wouldn't want it to be a horny story. We all gotta be bestsellers? I think so! The buddy with the heart. Let's forget you have faith in us all. We can do this. I'm gonna take us from a bakery to a library. That positivity there, I love it. Horny story is only for after the stream. That's right. What I write in my own time. It's in the towel. I do like this some butlers, but you know what? Actually, that would be a great thing for my birthday. We could all make a story together. That'd be a great birthday present. We should do that. And then I can print it off and I can like put it on my wall. And then I can look at it. And then I can laugh for the story we make together. Oh God, it might just be all horny fan service. What am I thinking? I'm gonna have a horny story on my wall. The egg turned into a chicken. You fertilized the egg with the lust. Yes, that's what I want. A story, stripper in chat, writing fanfiction. Yes! You know what? It's been decided. That's what I want for my birthday. We're gonna make a story. I'm gonna print it out and put it near my computer so I can look at it and giggle some days off stream. Yay! That would be so much fun. We are so doing that. Oh my gosh, guys. We're including the horny too. Look. minimum horniness. A fan fiction. Ooh, I mean, would be a bad fan fiction. I'm just like Babe Bisaya or Sebastian for Black Butler. That's a pretty fun one too. Feet meme. I wear combat boots. Oh, hello, Lord Boy. Oh God. You hyped for the new season? There's a new season of Black Butler? Wait, what? Huh? Boys know what's... Just do a whole... I don't know. My combat boots keep my feetsies warm. New season? Is there really a new season of Black Butler and I'm unaware of it? I am so confused. You guys have confused me. Purple stockings. Ooh. Purple stockings does sound like a good idea. Oh. Okay. The laser beam eyes. The laser beam eyes. Okay. I do love me some Black Butler. I didn't know it was still going on either. I was just like, I have not watched it in so long. I did not know it was still going on. I just really like Sebastian. He's one hell of a butler. And it does help that that's a pun constantly. I'm not gonna lie. That adds a few points to his nice lookingness. But I did not know there would be I just, not now, but later, I look at future season. Oh, okay. Because I love that. That's a good one. Haven't even heard of it since... so you're pulling out of your ass. I got all excited. I was all excited. Yeah, never It's fun. Grail's so cool in that one too. Undertaker, all of it. Except the angels, they're assholes. That's just the norm, right? In a lot of fiction. Now it makes me want to go watch Black Butler again. But yeah, we're gonna write a story together for my birthday. It'll be great. It'll be great. You guys, I know you'll be great. With your creativity, we all have so much creativity. We can feed each other's creativity. It'll be the whole add on a line, and then another line, and then another line. Maybe? I don't know. I'll figure it out. Wrestlers in the chat. Did it only glitch for me? Did we glitch? Oh no. No. OBS is being a butthead today, so it may have glitched. I'm not showing any dropped frames though. What? Is that an... Okay. Error number 2000. What? Oh my gosh. Guys, is there an issue? Oh. Now I sit here like all worried. Oh, okay. Whew. Minty Mellow is just so cute. How do you know it's working? I already meowed once, okay? Why error? I don't know why the error. That's a bullpucky. Everybody else isn't having any issues. No. It happens randomly? That's some bullpucky? I didn't know that. I don't think I've had that happen. Well, I've had some crazy errors today. That's for sure. Some crazy errors.
Played hot dog dance.
I love the dance. I love the dance. Most stable Twitch platform day. You're using the heck out of your new Dororo, aren't you, Zen? You missed the entire dance? Oh no! Here. Maybe after. Hold on. I gotta wait for the claw. I'm gonna give you another hot dog. Oh, it's the snail. The snail seems the glitty goo. There you go. Did you get to see it that time?
Krista played hot dog dance for 1,000.
Seal 3 rarity. Ooh! What'd you get the claw? Yeah, I know, right? Wow! Whale Wonderland jar. I've not seen that one often. You got a rare one. Cool beans. I know. I love about the hot dog. I love all of it, but my hair poofs bounce with it too. Ah! And I love that. I know it's one whale of an item, right? Those are the jar. You stopped glitching! Yay! Do I know any whales that are in a jar? Thank you for the. I actually made a snow globe with a whale in it one time. Cool beans, Zen. It's wrong. You're wrong. It's cool beans. Cool beans. It was so much fun. I had a blast with it because I love crafting and making all kinds of cool stuff. And I had a big blast making it for my friend. So it was just weird because it was Christmas and a whale. And it just... I had to put a Santa hat on the whale figurine. And I had it to where it like kind of dangled a bit from the roof of it. And so it was fun. It was fun. I was impressed with myself. One of the favorite Christmas presents I made that friend. You did a dress? I love to sew. I sew all the time. RNGesus normally doesn't. RNGesus. I didn't know that. I haven't heard that phrasing. Oh, I hate that you've been being trolled more than usual today. That sucks. Really does. I hate that. But that's, I mean, at least it's giving you a break now on it. Because you had me worried that I was the one that had the messed up stuff. That one time, how Beak turned cool. You throw it in the freezer, right? It's cool! It's cool. He'll say it one day. It's true. He'll say it one day. He keeps saying he won't, guys, but he will. He will. What? You say never? I say yes. RNGesus moved on to trolling someone else. RNGesus just always trolling at least. Really? Ooh. Oh, goodness. But, yeah. So, if you guys... I get tickled out of how it balances on my head right there. It balances on that top shelf, but also it's like on my head. The small things tickle me. The small things. Oy, oy, oy. It's the one rule I noticed that actually consistently follows. I've never heard that phrasing before, so he's new. Oh, righty Rooney. Well, Do you guys, we could keep talking, or I can read you a fairy tale, which is the original ones, by the way. They're not like the super sweet Disney version of the Grimm's fairy tales. They're a bit grim, one might say. I'm racking up pun to hell points. That's for sure. Kamatsutra? Oh no, it took me a second. You mean with the karma one? I don't have that book. I don't think there's much reading. It's mostly illustrations anyway. And it's actually a compilation of illustrations that were around a temple. Y'all didn't know that our Jesus is basically a god of randomness and chaos. Don't ask why I know my history details of the Karma Sutra, okay? I was curious. I make mistakes. I get curious about the most random literature. I'm like, I didn't know what it was. When I was looking it up, somebody in one of my books referred to it and making like a buttheady joke about it. And I was like, I don't know what that is. And so I looked it up. It's not as bad as some things, but and then I went down a hole because it turns out there's a whole bunch of really cool history behind it. And that's how I know. Because I was like, there's a history behind this. That's kind of crazy. It's weird. It's so weird. But that's the cool thing about books have everything in them. And history has so many cool things in it. Unfortunately, some of it's I make mistakes and learn about stuff I should not learn about. Oh gosh. It's true. Okay, I'm what added all the positions to read. If like describe them, I would be so embarrassed. I mean, for Pete's sake, I jumped too high here one time, and my cheeks were red for so long, and I was so embarrassed. It was crazy. Okay. I'm gonna let you make a decision between two stories I can read you. Now, like I said, some of them I may not remember because there's a buttload of them. And they were collected from all around the areas that the Brothers Grimm could travel to collect the stories. And they are still finding new ones sometimes. It's so crazy and cool. Okay, so we're gonna go with, and also if there's anything crazy in here, like I said, I don't remember all of them. You can choose. Cinderella, which is different from the Disney one. I'm reminding you. Or The Wolf and the Seven Young Kids. Somebody's getting murdered in both of those. Cinderella? Okay, we got one for Cinderella. Y'all, Cinderella's a bloody one. But it's supposed to be, it's the original, so I'm pretty sure this one's the one that's the original. I'm looking. Start a poll. Oh, you started a poll. Thank you, Never. Thank you for starting the poll. Okay, vote in the poll. Cinderella or the Wolf of the Seven Young Kids. Guys, that's so much easier. Thank you, Never. We'll go with whatever the poll says. It's another one of my older books, so some of the pages are yellowed. And you can tell. So far, it's a landslide. Cinderella. Okay. landslide. That means everybody's got. And we may end up reading the other. I don't know how long this is gonna take. I can't lie. I love Bihara. Cinderella's the winner.
Well, it's a bloody good time.
89 in my book. Okay. Here we go, guys. I need to watch more of that, like gameplay and stuff. Alright, here we go, Cinderella! I will be glancing between chat and the book, a chat at the book, a chat at the book. Once upon a time, the wife of a rich man fell sick, and as she knew her end was approaching, she called her only daughter to her bedside and said, "Dear child, when I am gone, continue good and pious, and heaven will help you in every trouble, and I will be your guardian angel." Soon after this, the mother closed her eyes in death, and the day after day, the maiden went to her mother's grave to weep. Thank you for the lurk, Never. Also, I absolutely adore that lurk emote. It's cute. So thank you for using that also. But she never forgot her last words and continued pious and gentle to all around her. Winter came and covered the grave, but when the bright with its dazzling drapery of snow. But, sorry, I gotta look at something real quick. Okay, we're just gonna, okay. There we go. Alright. Okay, your Twitch just updated. Good update, I hope. Alright. Winter came and covered the grave with its dazzling drapery of snow. But when the bright sun of spring again warmed the earth, the husband had taken to himself another wife. Well, that was quick. That was really freaking quick. It was like a season. A season and there's a new lady moving in. Honestly, that makes me suspicious. Really does. This wife had been already married, and she brought with her 2 daughters who were fair and beautiful in appearance, while at heart they were evil-minded and malicious. See, that's how another change already. They weren't ugly stepsisters. They're pretty, but they're ugly on the inside. It soon became a very sad time for their poor stepsister, of whom they were very envious, and at last persuaded their mother to send her to the kitchen. "Is it that stupid goose to sit in the parlor with us?" they said. "Those who eat ought to work. Send her to the kitchen with the kitchen maid." Then they took away all her nice clothes and gave her an ugly old frock and wooden shoes, which she was obliged to put on. Subridge, or she poisoned the original wife. "Look at our princess now. See how she's dressed herself," they said, laughing, and driving her into the kitchen. And there she was obliged to remain, doing hard work from morning till night, and she had to rise early to draw water, to light the fire, to cook, and to wash. Besides all this, her stepsisters invented all sorts of ways to make her more unhappy. They would either treat her with scorn, or else push her out of their way so roughly that she sometimes fell among the pea shells and cabbage leaves that lay in the yard. At night, when she was tired with her work, she had no bed to lie on, and when the weather was cold, she would creep into the ashen on the warm hearth and get so black and full of soot that they gave her the name of Cinderella. It happened one day that the father was going to a fair, and he asked his 2 stepdaughters what he should bring back for them as a present. "A beautiful dress," said the eldest. "A pearl necklace," said her sister. "And Cinderella?" asked her father. "What will you have?" "Father," she replied, Please bring me the first twig that strikes your heart on the way home. Soul of Cinder. So the father brought his stepdaughters a beautiful dress and a pearl necklace, and, as he was returning home, he rode through a shrubbery where the green bushes clustered thickly around him, and a hazel twig stretching across his path struck his hat. Then he stopped, broke off the twig, and carried it home with him. As soon as he reached the house, he gave his stepdaughters the presents they had wished for, and to Cinderella the hazel twig from the hazel bush. She thanked him, for it was even more than her sisters had done to their beautiful presents, and went out immediately to her mother's grave, where she planted the hazel twig and wept over it so much that her tears fell and softened the earth. You're wondering why there's no Lady Cinder? Gotta turn that page. My donkey's over here snoring. He likes story time too. As soon as she reached the house. Okay. I lost my place. Oh no! Okay, here we go. The twig grew and became a beautiful tree, and Cinderella went 3 times a day to pray and weep at the grave, and on each visit a little white bird would perch there on the tree, and when she expressed a wish, the bird would throw down whatever she wished for. What? Okay, cool. See how much different it is from the Disney movie? After a time, the king of the country gave a grand ball, which was to continue for 3 days. All the beautiful young ladies in the land were invited to this ball. Yes, Adam? So that the king's son might make a choice of a bride from amongst them. The 2 stepsisters, when they heard that they were invited, knew not how to contain themselves for joy. They called Cinderella in haste and said, "Come and dress our hair and trim our shoes and gold buckles, for we are going to the ball at the king's palace." You watched the wrong version. Oh no. I could only imagine what you mean by the wrong version of Cinderella. This will be nothing like that version either. Most likely, if it's the type of adult Cinderella. When Cinderella heard that, she began to cry, for she was fond of dancing, and she wanted to go dance with her stepsisters. So she went to her stepmother and begged to be allowed to accompany them. "You, Cinderella," cried her stepmother, "so covered with dirt and soot as you are, you go to a ball." A live action one. A lot of the stories you'll see are different. This is the original Brothers Grimm's fairy tales. So they're fairy tales that told kids to behave, so they were scaring kids. So they're actually kind of spooky. Besides, you have no dress or dancing shoes. Cinderella, however, continued to beg for permission to go, till her stepmother said at last, "There, go away into the kitchen. I have just thrown a shovelful of linseed into the ashes. If you can pick these seeds all out and bring the linseed into the ashes, if you could pick all these seeds and bring them to me in 2 hours, you shall go." Oh, she slipped at the end of the ball? Not gonna lie, I thought you were about to do something else, and I'm very proud of you, Adam. I am very proud of you. Good job. There. Away went the maiden through the back door into the garden and called out, "Yee, the pretty with the heart! Little time pigeons, turtle doves too, if you don't help me, what shall I do? Come pick up the seeds, all the birds in the sky, for I cannot do it in time if I try." Then came flying in at the kitchen window 2 pretty white doves, and they were followed by all birds of the air, twittering in a swarm. Nodding their heads at Cinderella, they began to pick and very quickly picked every seed from the ashes till the shovel was full. It was all finished in 1 hour, and then the birds spread their wings and flew away. Full of joy, the maiden carried the shovel of seed to her stepmother, believing that now she was sure to go to the ball. But her stepmother said, "No, Cinderella, you have no dress. You have not learnt to dance. You'll only be laughed at." Still she cried and begged so hard to be allowed to go that her stepmother, to keep her quiet, threw 2 shovelfuls of linseed in the ashes this time, and told her she should go if she picked up these out in 2 hours. "She can never do that in time," thought that cruel woman, as Cinderella ran away into the kitchen. But the maiden went again into the garden and called the birds. "Little tame pigeons, turtle-doves too, if you don't help me, what shall I do? Come pick up the seeds, all the birds in the sky, for I cannot do it in time even if I tried." Then the birds all came as before, and in less than an hour every seed was picked out and laid in the shovels. As soon as they had flown away, Cinderella carried the shovelfuls of seed to her stepmother, quite expecting now to go to the ball with her stepsisters. But she said again, "It's of no use to fret, Cinderella. You have no dress, you cannot dance, and where you go to it would be a disgrace to us all." Then she turned her back to the poor girl and hastened away with her 2 proud daughters to the ball. There was no one at home now but Cinderella, so she went out to her mother's grave and stood under the hazel tree and cried, "Shake and shiver, little tree, with gold and silver, cover me." Then the bird in the tree threw down a beautiful silk dress, embroidered with gold and silver, and a new pair of glittering golden slippers. In great haste, she dressed herself in these beautiful clothes and went to the ball. See? So many differences already, right? So many differences. The king's son took a great deal of notice of this unknown lady and danced with her several times, till at last he would dance with no other, always saying, "This is my partner." So she danced and all accompanied her, for he wanted to discover where she lived. But she avoided him, and with one bound sprang into the pigeon house. The prince was quite astonished, but waited till nearly all the company had left, and then told his father that the strange lady was in the pigeon house. "Could it be Cinderella?" thought the stepmother, who would not leave till the last. "I must find out." So she advised the prince to send for workmen to pull down the pigeon house. This was soon done, but they found no one there. When the stepmother and her daughters reached home, they found Cinderella in her sooty dress, lying in the ashes, and a dingy little lamp burning on the chimney piece. The truth was, Cinderella had slipped out from the back of the pigeon house even more quickly than she had jumped in, and had run to the hazel tree. Here she hastened to take off her beautiful clothes and laid them down and carried the ball dress away, while Cinderella went home to lie in the ashes. A short time after, the king gave another ball, to which her parents and stepsisters were invited. As soon as they were gone, Cinderella went to the hazel tree and said, "Shake and shiver, little tree, throw gold and silver on me." Then the bird threw down a far more elegant dress than the first, and when she entered the ballroom in her rich apparel, everyone was astonished at her great beauty. The king's son, who refused to dance till she came, took her hand, and led her to her seat, and during the whole evening he would dance with no one else, always saying, "This is my partner." Again, when it was time to go, the prince wanted to accompany her and find out her home, but she managed to avoid him and rushed out into the garden behind the palace, in which grew a beautiful tree loaded with pears. She climbed like a squirrel, only a nicer one, because squirrels are evil, and we all know this. They're terrible, horrible, awful creatures. Squirrel mafia is a thing. It is evil. It is evil. When his father came home, they even ordered the tree to be cut down, but no one could find among the branches. The stepmother still had a fear that it might be Cinderella, but when they reached home, there she was in the kitchen dress, lying among the ashes, as usual. When they were looking for her, she had sprung down at the other side of the tree, and the bird in the hazel tree had brought her kitchen clothes and taken away the ball dress. A third ball took place, to which the stepmother and her daughters were invited, and Cinderella again went to her mother's grave and said to the tree, "Shake and rustle, little tree, throw gold and silver over me." Then the bird threw down a most magnificent dress, more glittering and elegant than the last, and the brightest pair of gilded slippers. When she appeared at the ball in this dress, everyone was astonished at her beauty. The prince danced with only her, and to every other proposal replied, "This is my partner." When the time came to leave, Cinderella wanted to go, and the prince wished to accompany her, but she darted away from him and vanished so quickly that he could not follow her. Now the king's son had recourse to stratagem. He had a plan. That's what it is. He had a plan. He had a plan, man. He had ordered the steps of the castle to be strewed with pitch, so that as Cinderella hurried away, her left slipper stuck to the steps, and she was obliged to leave it behind. The prince himself picked it up. It was very small and elegant, and covered with gold. Yes, ma'am. The next morning, he sent for one of his servants and said to him,
"None other shall be my bride, but the lady whom the slipper belongs, and whose foot it shall fit."
When the stepsisters heard of this proclamation from the prince, they were delighted, for they both had small feet. The messenger had been present at the ball, tried to put it on, but it would fit none of them, and the last he came to the two sisters. The eldest tried it on first in another room, and her mother stood by. She could have worn it if her great toe had not been so large, so her mother offered her a knife. Oh no, Adam. You'll make it through this. I have faith in you. You can make it through this. Cut it off. When you are queen, she said, you will not want to use your feet much. The maiden cut the toe off and forced on the slipper in spite of the pain, and the messenger led her to the prince. But on their road, they had to pass the grave of Cinderella's mother, and on the hazel tree sat two doves who cried, "That's not the right bride. The slipper is much too small. Blood is flowing inside. The shoe does not fit her at all." Then the messenger examined the slipper and found it full of, can you imagine? Just being like, okay, well, those birds are talking, so surely they're saying the correct things. Like, if that's your response, like, oh, the birds, absolutely. I'm gonna listen to what these random birds talking are. No other animals are speaking in the story. So, yeah. You saw the pigeons? Oh, it's like mockingbirds. They're so mean. They gang up on birds all the time. The messenger examined the slipper and found it full of blood, so he led her back and told the next sister to try. She also went into another room with her mother and found that she could not get the slipper over her heel. It was wild. It was one of their own. Wow. That is kind of wild. I wonder what that one did. Huh. Walked into the wrong neighborhood. That's what that one did. Recorded it too. That would be insane. That sounds cool to have that as a memory. And you have it as a recording. So that's good because that means you'll never forget it. It'll always be there for you to remember. The maiden cut a piece off of her heel and fitted the slipper in spite of the pain, and then went to the prince. These shoes, by now, have got to be looking ugly. It's full of blood from one, and now it's full of blood from the other. They also had to pass the... Hold on. My book slipped. Oh. Okay, there we go. And then went to the prince. They also had to pass the grave of Cinderella's mother, in which the two doves still sat and cried. Because talking birds, totally normal. Go back, there's blood in the shoe. The shoe is too small, that bride will not do. So the messenger examined the shoe, and found the white stocking quite red with blood. He took the false bride back to the house, and this time the king's son went with him. Hast thou not another daughter? Asked the prince of Cinderella's father. None, he said, except in the old child of my first wife, a little Cinderella. She could not possibly be your bride. Send for her, said the prince. But the stepmother answered, Oh, no, I dare not let you see her. She's much too dirty. But the prince insisted that Cinderella should be sent for, so at last they called her in. After washing her hands and face, she made her appearance and bowed to the prince, who offered her the golden shoe. She seated herself on a footstool and took off the heavy wooden shoe from her left foot and slipped on the golden slipper, which fit her exactly. Then, as she lifted up her head and looked at the king, he recognized the beautiful maiden who had danced with him at the ball, and exclaimed, This is the right bride to be. Oh, there's an ad in about a minute, guys. Just a heads up. The stepmother and her two daughters were in the dreadful rage when they heard this, and turned white with anger. But the prince disregarded their anger, and taking Cinderella on his horse, rode away with her. As they passed the hazel tree on the grass, the two white doves cried. I mean, they've been right about everything else. I guess by this point in time, why not listen to the birds? I'm gonna take a sip of drink real quick. Delicious. Ice cold. So many ice cubes. But you know what? Actually, no regret. No regret. I have no regret. Fair maiden and true, no blood in her shoe. She is the bride with the prince by her side. As they rode by, the doves came and perched on Cinderella's shoulders, one on the right and one on the left. When the marriage day came, the two stepsisters, wishing to share Cinderella's fortune, contrived to be present. As a bridal party walked to church, they placed themselves one on the right and the other on the left of the bride. This is when you go, this bitch. It's like, this bitch has the nerve to do a what now? No, I don't think so. On the way, the doves picked out an eye from each of them. The doves picked out an eye from each of them. When returning, they changed places, and the doves picked out the other eye of each. So they were, for their wickedness and the falsehood, both punished with blindness during the rest of their lives. Ta-da! Revenge! And this is why don't be a dick. One of the many reasons why we should be able to say don't be a dick is this. Oh. But yes, I do absolutely. You see, it's so much different than the ones that you see in the children's books or that you see like in the Disney movies. These stories are full of, if you do this, this horrific stuff happens to you. Like, whoa, chop your own toes off, your own heel off, and the birds snitch on you. And then they still had like the gall to be like, oh yes, we are the sisters of the bride. And so they're like, peck, bitch, peck, bitch. They just peck their eyeballs out. Ah! You saw a Disney movie 6 years ago. I love some of the Disney movies. My favorite Disney movie is Beauty and the Beast. She's got a whole library. And it's a fun movie. And the live action version of it wasn't that bad either. I definitely don't occasionally still walk around randomly.
Be our guest, be our guest.
Have I played The Wolf Among Us? The board game or the one on Steam? The one on Steam. I think I have it. I think. Either I have it or it's on my... Yes, actually, I have it. I have not played it, but I have it. It's part of the Telltale Games series, right? But yeah, I have that one. It's really good. They're gonna get a number 2. Ooh! Well, I do like it when things like that happen. I got it on a Humble Bundle one time. I do love the Humble Bundles. Especially with, like, their Trevor project. Every time I see that one, I try to buy it. Even if it's not, like, one I really like. So, yeah. Oh my gosh, there's the 6 swans are in here. If I love to see it. No! It is perfectly fine to request games. Honestly, it's always perfectly fine. I look into them. Sometimes they're doable. And sometimes we end up playing them. Unless it's like a naughty game. Don't request those. But like other games, especially if they're not flashy, feel perfectly... It's perfectly fine to suggest. Just understand that I may not get to them. Just because you suggest it and I write it down doesn't mean it will happen. I want you to know that. Purple Twitch. What's Purple Twitch? I don't know what that is. Wait, you guys have said that before. I can't remember. I can't remember what one that is. I'm confused. Oh, if they're getting a behave, then I get it. Okay, it's one of those I don't want to... Okay, but yeah, I'll put that on my look into game list, okay? But like I said, that doesn't mean it will happen. Thank you for catching that, because I would have never known what that was. Well, we have a few more that we can... A few more... Psst. You want to know how many more we have? We'll put it this way. The pages I have in this book, they go all the way up to... I think it's about 700. Because one of the children's legends is about the Hazel Branch. So, I have a lot in this book. It's a book from 1981. So it's yellowed and old, and it has the delightful older book smell. I love it. 30 stories. Oh, you sweet summer child. There are so many more than 30 stories in here. It's like more than 100. Well, you got to think about, they traveled everywhere to record folklore so that the stories weren't lost. And it's actually, the Brothers Grimm did so many wonderful things for culture that people don't think about. They think, oh, fairy tales. Oh, but it's an oral history that they recorded. Because things weren't written down back then. And granted, they did change some things when they wrote it down. Of course. You know, some of them, especially like cross languages, they were not written in English. I think I'm a winter child. You're joking. But, oh yeah, it depends on what book it is. This is very true. But the Complete Brothers Grimm fairy tales one, like the Brothers Grimms, they went around, they traveled around to collect the stories, and it's oral folk tales. And so it's beautiful. To me, it's beautiful that they exist because somebody, you know, went around and collected culture that wasn't theirs, and they wrote it down. And the thing with oral history and oral traditions and stuff like that, they disappear eventually. We have so many things we'll never know about because languages just don't exist, or the communities become smaller and smaller, and eventually there's no more stories. And it's so, to me, when something's written down, it's really very pretty. Oh, we have so many languages that are extinct, so many languages that are just gone already, and so many cultures that are just gone already. So, but I don't know, I think it's a beautiful. No one will know of the cult of Zen in 50 years. I mean, it depends on what you do with your cult. There are plenty of cults that, for nefarious reasons, are remembered. I would hope. I would hope that you leave the mark on this realm. I think that's a beautiful thing. I want to leave my mark too. I want to leave a mark in some form or fashion. You know, just a little bit of a legacy. That would be nice, right? I mean, as long as I live, I'm gonna remember you guys in the chat, hopefully, especially when we write our story together. Let's see. Okay. Well, I'm sorry, I was looking at leave a scar on the earth. You brain damage enough people, right? Ooh. Okay, let's see. If the Six Swans is the one I remember, I really enjoy that one. So we're gonna read that one. Page 530. Yes, you have to hear all my pages flipping. Yep. I'm pretty sure this is the one I remember. Oh, okay. Share it with you guys, because I like you. And it's cool to share things. It's cool. Page flipping is ASMR. There is that good? Page flipping. The Six Swans. The king was once hunting in a large wood, and pursued his game so hotly that none of his courtiers could follow him. But when evening approached, he stopped. That was good. The page flipping was good. You're welcome.